I don't have anything up there, so I guess I can give that to Sharon. All right, everybody, we're gonna kick it off and get the presentation going here. So if you're here, have a seat. Take a few minutes. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you for those of you that are online. I appreciate that. Again, 2020 open enrollment. We are online. For those of you that aren't used to our format, we've got the microphones here, so everybody that's logged in out on our YouTube channel can ask questions. We also have some giveaways that we're doing, so if you guys that are out there watching, comment with good, useful comments and questions, and then you'll get entered into the drawings as well. So we want you guys to be involved in that. So we have some presenters here. We have Sharon, Jenny, and Sam. So I'll start it off if you want to kick it off and go, and
Sure.
You're up here and ready.
Sounds great.
There you go.
Good afternoon. It's not clicking. We're not clicking yet.
It's not quick. Oh, here, sorry. Try that. There you go.
There you go. Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Priest with Marcia McLennan Agency, and I want to welcome you to the 2020 open enrollment session. Thank you so much. I see several faces that have been through the information already, and we've been able to speak with several of you already as well. So we do have carriers from each of the different areas, and so feel free to stop by the tables if you haven't already, and we have some materials for you, and also don't forget about the drawing too. So just to go through what we'll discuss today is we're going to talk about the medical plans. We have 3 different benefit plan offerings with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll also talk about the reduced deductible on the highest deductible health plan. The high value network will be the network that's available to you. We'll talk about the health savings account and the new health savings account contributions available to you for 2020. And just want to make sure that you're all aware of this awesome benefit that's available to you on your health savings account. There's also an employer match that's available to you as well, as long as you're contributing. So we'll talk about that as we get to those slides. The other plans, there are no changes to them. The dental plan, there's no changes to the dental plan. The vision plan, I've been representing VSP, the new vision services provider, and there's some enhanced coverage that's available there. Life and AD&D with MetLife, and then disability insurance, as well as the critical illness and accident. So first, why don't I hand it over to Jenny, and she can talk about the Blue Cross plan with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Good afternoon. Well, come on. Flew out here from Minnesota for you guys. All right, get back on the plane. Okay, so I'm Jenny Cleveland from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So I work with Amy and Kim and Sharon and the team to make sure that we're looking at your medical plans, making sure that you guys have the best plan fits for you. So part of being out here today is making sure that you guys know about which plans are the best plans to pick for you. So we'll kind of give a Cliff Note version of the plans. I apologize, I'm going to talk kind of fast. And then also make sure that you guys know about all of the health and wellness programs that are available. In the guide that we have here, I am going to stop at one point and show you a great reference point because the fitness discount program is going away. I'm prefacing that starting now, but it's being replaced with an even better program, so we'll get into the details of that shortly. One of the things that I want to say up front is that if you have a personal related question, see me afterwards. If you have a high level question, how does the deductible work, how does the copay work, I'm hoping that I can get into the guts of that before you have to ask that question. But if you have it, somebody else probably has it too. So we're going to start out that everybody's getting new ID cards this year. And the only reason you're getting new ID cards is that fitness incentive logo, which is like the little guy with the swirl at the bottom of the card, he's going away. And then there's a couple of phone numbers on the back of the card that are also going away. The Nurse Line program is going away, so if you use Nurse Line today, what we found is that most of our members use their doctor's office Nurse Line as opposed to using ours. So we want to make sure that we're doing things that are efficient and affordable for you guys, and if you're not using the service, we don't want you to have to pay for it. As you do, you pay for it in premiums. As well as EAP services are going away. But you guys have EAP services available through your ancillary benefits with MetLife. So there's other options there. And EAP services, I'll just give a quick plug. Guys, they're probably the least utilized health and wellness program you have available to you. They are phenomenal. If you are going through a stressful situation, maybe you are having issues with your spouse at home, maybe you're having an issue with your neighbor over your property line, true story. These are things that EAP services are really good for. Maybe you lost daycare, maybe mom and dad need to go into a nursing home facility. This is what EAP is here for. So it's to help you be your best you. So utilize your EAP resources through Blue Cross through the rest of the year, but on January 1st, connect through with Kim for MetLife resources. So, like I said, you're getting new ID cards. If you happen to use your old ID cards, no big deal because your group number is not changing unless you make a plan change, and your ID number is not going to change. So your online member portal, everything that I'm talking to you guys about today is available to you online 24/7. We also have a pretty cool app that you can use too. The app and the online portal have things like your Find a Doctor tool, trying to find in-network providers, shopping for pharmaceuticals, trying to figure out what's your best place to get them. I've helped a number of people today look up the cost of their pharmaceuticals, trying to figure out, do I stay on a copay plan or do I move to the high deductible health plan? Here to help you guys with that. Our member services is available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. as well, and they're in full open enrollment mode right now, so they have your plans, they can help answer questions for you. None of us can tell you what's your best plan for you, but we can at least help give you tools and resources and direction. Your claims are out there, so if you're trying to figure out how much you've spent year to date, there's milestone trackers out there that show you how much you've spent year to date on your plans. Summary of coverage, so just all your health and wellness tools and resources are out here. Even better, your ID card, it's on your app, it's on the online website, so you don't have to do the walk of shame to HR because you forgot your ID card. If you are traveling, I know that a lot of you guys are out on the road, you have the app, it's smart, sign into it, you can just sign on, you wake up in the morning and you feel like, gosh, I just need to see a doctor today. It'll help locate a doctor wherever you are across the nation. So if you can just set it to your GPS tracker. So you guys are on our Minnesota High Value Network, but here it's the Blue Card PPO Network. So what does this mean to you? It means that through the power of Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the 36 Blue Cross and Blue Shields across the country, you have access to 95% of the providers and 96% of the hospitals for non-emergency care is in-network providers. That's a pretty big deal. It's one of the broadest networks in the entire country. With that, oftentimes what you'll find who's not in network are gonna be some specialists, chiropractic, mental health, physical therapy. Make sure that you're utilizing in-network providers though, because you're always gonna get your best benefit in network. Outside of the United States, you guys also have travel benefits. So Blue Cross and Blue Shield has travel benefits in over 200 countries. So if you're traveling outside the United States, you have travel benefits there too. And then we also have other travel programs that we can help you with for really affordable travel care if you're gonna be outside the country. And that's for non-emergency care. Emergency care is emergency care regardless of where you are. So emergency care is always gonna cover us in network. I don't expect that you're gonna wake up in an ambulance having a heart attack and be like, hey, you gotta take me to this hospital because they're in network. So you're just always gonna be covered as in-network care. Same thing with pharmacy. So, and guys, we have different negotiated rates with providers too. So a procedure at one place is gonna be different in another place. So we have cost care estimator tools on our website. I'm on a high deductible health plan. So when I have procedures that are coming up, I look at them and try to figure out what's this gonna cost me. So I can even put that into the Find a Doctor tool and estimate the cost so I can start planning ahead for my HSA. Because a lot of times those big procedures are things that we can shop for. Well, similarly, we have the same type of thing for our pharmacy. So we have different contracted rates for pharmaceuticals too. So go on to the Find a Doctor tool, find a drug, and find out what's the best, most affordable place to get your prescriptions. You might find out that even though there isn't a discount on mail order, it's actually substantially less to just have it shipped to your house and super convenient than having to go pick it up at the pharmacy. You guys are on our Classic Pharmacy Network. Walgreens is our anchor provider. They're also our anchor 90-day prescription provider for mail order. So you get your best discounts usually from Walgreens, but sometimes there's better discounts at other providers. And you're on our key RX formulary, which means that it is a closed formulary. So drugs are tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So we don't have coverage for non-preferred drugs. Now, that being said, if you have a very specific drug and you need to take that drug, your doctor can be your advocate, and they can file what's called a prior authorization. If it's approved, it'll be covered underneath the health plan. So we talked a little bit about the Find a Doctor tool. You can see right there, find a pharmacy, find a drug. Big deal. So Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota has, we took on big tobacco years ago, and we won, and we're doing the same thing with diabetes. We know that diabetes is a pandemic across the country, and we want to help people. So our legislature has taken it on. They've asked Blue Cross of Minnesota to partner with them. As of January 1st, tier 1 and tier 2 insulins are going to be covered at no cost to you. So if you are on an insulin, this is out on our website underneath the Find a Drug. You can actually find what tier 1 and tier 2 drugs are covered at 100%. But as of January 1st, this is a really big deal. So you have 3 health plans available to you. You have a $2,500 deductible plan. It's got a $40 copay, a $4,500 high deductible health plan, and a $6,000 high deductible health plan. Guys, this went from $6,350 to $6,000. So it did actually drop. The way that these plans work, so when you are on a copay plan, you go to the doctor's office, for anything that's not preventive, it's gonna be a $40 copay. Your prescriptions are gonna be subject to the copay unless the cost of the drug is actually less than the copay. Major medical, inpatient, outpatient, emergency room, lab, diagnostic imaging, x-rays, all of these things are gonna be subject to the deductible. So those are the things that apply to that $2,500. Those copays, the deductible, the coinsurance, so major medical, if you were to be in an inpatient situation, pay $2,500, then after that point, you're responsible for 20%. Blue Cross pays 80%, up to a maximum out of pocket of $5,000. So that's your maximum exposure on this plan. This plan generally makes sense to people who have a lot of specialist visits that they're going in for. So for example, I'm going to a physical therapist right now, it's $400 a session. So 10 sessions at $40 versus 10 sessions at $400 might make more sense to be on the copay plan in that type of situation. Otherwise, the 2 options that are available to you in the high deductible health plan, these are pretty much identical plans. It's just a matter of what's your exposure to risk. So if I'm a person who's generally healthy, maybe I go to the doctor once or twice a year. My daughter, got pink eye and strep throat this year. I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to save money on that. But really aside from that, we go on for our preventive care. $4,500 plan fits for me as a family of 5. I'm a little risk adverse, so $6,000 is a little bit much. In the event that the wheels fall off and my whole family ends up, with influenza and hospitalized. So for me, that $4,500, $9,000 plan is a good fit. If I was myself and my husband, we'd probably go for the $6,000 plan because generally we're healthy people. Preventive care across all 3 plans is going to be covered at 100%. One caveat, you go into the doctor's office for your routine annual visit and you start talking to them about the back injury that you have from shoveling all the 6 inches of snow tomorrow. That part is no longer preventive, right? I'm talking about an illness or injury. So that's what happens when you see a charge, is that you start talking about things that really don't apply to illness or injury. Your preventive care, your routine cancer screening, your colonoscopies. Women, 3D mammograms are covered at 100% now, so go in for your annual mammograms. Guys, routine care applies to you guys too, so I just want to say that. Oops, stepping on the big bank here. The way that I think about routine care, I think women are generally pretty good at it, but guys, even our doctors are bad at telling you to come in every single year. They say, why are you here? So the way that I think about it is like this. You do your oil change on your car every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, right? Your car hits 10,000, 15,000 miles over that oil change, things are gonna start going wrong. Your engine blows up on your car, you get a new car. If you're not going in for your annual exam every year, you're 10,000 to 15,000 miles over your own oil change. So make sure you're going in every year, that you're having your routine screenings done. because hopefully I get the chance to come back out here next year, and you're all still here. And I hear people say, like, I don't wanna go into the doctor because I don't wanna find out something's wrong with me. Guys, I'd rather go into the doctor and find out something's wrong with me early when it's still in a stage 0 or stage 1 versus a stage 4, and in all honesty, I'm planning for end of life care at that point in time. So I wanna see you guys here. So routine care is covered at 100%. Also your eye exam is gonna be covered under your health plan. So a couple examples as to when it makes sense. So for the traditional versus the high deductible. So for example, I have 3 office visits, I have a preventive care, or I have a virtual visit, and then I have a regular clinic visit. So preventive care is covered at 100%. The virtual visit, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is a $20 copay, and then my office visit is $40. So in this essence, I'm gonna pay $60. Now this does not include premiums. I mean, premiums are outside of the scope of it. This is just talking about what your out-of-pocket expenses are. If I were on the high deductible health plan, the preventive visit is covered at 100%. The virtual visit is $53. The clinic visit is $200. So on this one, it's gonna cost me $253. Inpatient hospital stay, $75,000, and that might be a little conservative. So an inpatient hospital stay for 1 member, $75,000. I'm on the traditional plan. I'm gonna pay deductible of $2,500. The remaining is $54,000. Of that, I'm gonna hit my $5,000 out of pocket on that plan. So the total cost is $5,000. On the high deductible health plan, whether it's the $4,500 or the $6,000, obviously, I'm gonna hit that $4,500 or $6,000, and then Blue Cross is gonna pick up the rest of that check for you. Are you talking through this?
Sure. So the chart shows that the 2020 medical rates, and we're happy to share with you that there haven't been any changes to the rates this year. So you'll see the rates listed per plan, the $2,500 copay plan, as well as per tier of coverage. You have 4 tiers of coverage: employee, employee plus child or children, so 1 or many, employee plus spouse, and then family coverage.
So, what Sharon just talked about, and guys, that's a big deal that you guys don't have any changes to your plan. I've had a number of plans, and Sharon can probably speak to this, that are 20-30% increases this year. And it all has to do with how we use our plans, because we're experience rated. At Blue Cross of Minnesota, 2 cents out of every dollar that we take in premium that's used for administrative, 98 cents out of every dollar pays medical claims. So how we use our plans is a really big deal. So if you were on that $2,500 plan as a family, you're gonna pay $14,000, $14,412 in annual premium. Your annual deductible is $5,000. Your out-of-pocket is $11,000. So you take the annual premium and the out-of-pocket, you put it together, and that's $25,412 a year for that plan. For the $4,500, your annual premium as a family is gonna be $5,159. Your annual deductible and your annual out-of-pocket match, so that's $9,000. You're getting an HSA contribution if you max out your HSA at $1,800 with your employer match. I mean, you can actually put more away about what that. Sharon's going to talk about that in a little bit. So in this case, your exposure would be $15,959. Take the employer match out, your exposure is $14,159. So like I was saying, that might be a good fit for you as a family. The last option with the $6,000 plan is $3,500 in premium, $3,573. Your annual deductible and out-of-pocket is $12,000. The HSA contribution is $2,280. Your total expenses here is $17,853. This is if you're maxing out your entire plan. Most people are not going to max out their entire plan, but if you're maxing out your entire plan. So your worst case scenario would be $15,573. It's important to know those numbers so that you can plan through it and figure out what's the best plan for you. Now, knowing where to go for care helps you, and it helps the plan. And it helps your guys' premiums stay low next year. Most of you guys are on a high deductible health plan. Doctor on Demand is a really great resource for you. They treat the top 17 conditions that end up in an urgent care or emergency room after hours. Allergies, strep throat, sinus infections, pink eye, UTIs. They have board certified psychologists, they have psychiatrists, they have mental pediatricians, internal medicine, family practice. Their wait time is generally about 3 minutes. My daughter had pink eye this year. My husband went to take her into the doctor's office. I was like, no, it's gonna cost $280 to walk in the door. Made him cancel the appointment. Got online with Doctor on Demand, Skype visit on the phone with the doctor. He took about a minute and a half before the doctor got on the line. Got on the line with her, said, yeah, it's pink eye. Sent the same $7 prescription down the road. We didn't sit in a fit-in appointment, and God knows what else we would have gotten as we're sitting there getting hacked on by the kid next to us. It's $48 through the rest of the year. January 1st, it is gonna go up a little bit, but it's still $53 versus the $280 that it cost me to walk in the door. Convenient clinics, minute clinics. Walmart has them, Sam's Clubs a lot of times have them. Even though CVS isn't in network for the pharmacy, their minute clinics are in network. Guys, this is another great option. If it's not something that, it's something you want a face-to-face consultation with. In general, they're substantially less. Like my daughter had strep throat, couldn't treat her on Doctor on Demand because she'd never had strep throat before. Went to the minute clinic, cost $100. Go in for the office visit. If you can get in during the day, it always costs less than going at night. Go in for your routine preventive exams. Sometimes, things happen. You need stitches. Urgent care is a great place. Emergency room, by all means, you're having a heart attack, you got a bone protruding from your body, that's where the emergency room makes sense. If you have a sinus infection, that sinus infection in the emergency room is gonna cost you $1,100 on average. So just trying to help you guys, think through what's the best way to do these things too. Tons of health and wellness resources available to you. All of these resources are going to be available in the back of your guide as well. So there's links in here that talk about these resources. So I'm going to speed through these because I'm taking a lot of time. So we'd already talked about Doctor on Demand. We talked about the mobile app. But we have this new program that's called ShareCare. And ShareCare is a health and wellness platform. Has everybody heard of WebMD? Has everybody heard of Dr. Oz? Oprah? Maybe Dr. Sanjay Gupta if you watch CNN. Probably haven't heard of Jeff Arnold. Jeff Arnold was the guy who created WebMD. He'll tell you in his own words that at 24 years old he sold it for a boatload of money and semi-retired. Dr. Oz and Oprah and Dr. Sanjay Gupta approached him in 2006 and said, if you could do it all over today, what would you do differently? He said, I made WebMD for the masses, but healthcare is personalized. So in 2010, he launched ShareCare with $500 million in financing from those 3 very famous people. And we partnered with them a year ago. So ShareCare is the platform that you're on today, so it's like WebMD on steroids. So it's all integrated based to you, and this is a really big deal because of the fact that your new fitness program is going to be on this platform. Take the Real Age Health Assessment. It's pretty cool. You know your calendar age of your body. You can figure that out from your birthday if you don't remember how old you are, sometimes I forget. And it'll actually tell you based on the way that you live your life, what your physical age of your body is. Life insurance companies are using this because of how accurate it is. Nobody wants to be older than what they are. So you can actually start tracking your activity, start earning green days, and start reducing your real age of your body. It's pretty cool. Learn to Live, also in your guide. This is available to you today as well. Stress, insomnia, anxiety, depression. Guys, mental health is a pandemic in our country. We want to make sure that you realize that you have tools and resources available to you. This program is available to your children, 13 years of age or older. You take an online assessment, 20 questions, or 20 minutes worth of questions, same question over and over and over until they actually figure out what is your underlying condition. They create an online-based program for you. It's found as effective as face-to-face counseling in these areas. They also have health coaches that can help you through it. Just a really quick, brief example. My husband hasn't been able to really eat anything since he was about 12 years old. Nicest guy you'll ever meet, super sarcastic. You'd never think of him as somebody as having anxiety. Started to see some triggers and changes in how he was dealing with my son's little league football team. He was yelling at kids, wasn't in his nature or his scope. I said, hey, I think you should check this program out. Checked it out, found out he had anxiety. Went through the program, I can talk about this because he's a case study for Learn to Live. Went through the program, put all his tools in his toolbox, and they said, I still feel like you need more. Ended up meeting with the doctor and finding out that his anxiety was manifested abdominally because you internalize these things. They have real physical impacts on your body. Started addressing his anxiety. Now, this might not seem like a big deal to you, but at 40 years old, he cracked his first beer and sat down at a football game with his friends without getting sick. He thought that was a pretty cool thing. So, not saying that, it'll necessarily lead to that, but he has a beer too, but he was just excited to be able to enjoy that. So the fitness incentive, and I'm helping people get registered in ShareCare today, but the fitness incentive will take over on January 1st. There is a step-by-step guide on how to do this. You can get registered today, January 1st, and we'll do some sessions on how to actually get into this. You guys will start tracking your activity. You track 7,500 or more steps a day, 21 out of 30 days in the month. Do the math, we still let you have every weekend to be a couch potato. You earn $20 to you, not to the gym, to you. Now, we know that there's a lot of activities that you guys do that you can actually convert to different steps, like shoveling snow, skiing, mountain biking, tons of different things that we do on a regular basis. Cleaning your house. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting your reward. So make sure that you guys are getting in and starting to track your steps, because January 1st, you're going to join the challenges and $20 goes to you. Super quick, you guys, just for being Blue Cross and Blue Shield members, have a discount program. It's called Blue 365. There is fitness wear out there, nutrition programs, gym discount, $29 a month. Planet Fitness and Snap are both participating here in Casper, so you can go to both of them for the $29 a month. The deals change every single week. I'm sure there'll probably be something on Black Friday. This is available to you guys right now too. The app is in here. And then just one last thing about diabetes. 2/3 of Americans are actually at risk for type 2 diabetes today, or heart disease. So we partnered with a program called OMADA. This is for people who have not yet been diagnosed. With OMADA, we're working to help people turn back the clock before they get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or heart disease. Go online if you are on the health plan, check it out. I didn't think I was at risk for type 2 diabetes or heart disease, but it runs in my family. Found out I was at risk. Got a cellular enabled scale, got a health coach, met with group of people that are at risk for the same reason I am. Lost 7% of my body weight, now I go up and down. I've been on the program for 2 years. My health coach just reached back out to me and said, I see you're going back up, what can we do? So this is, again, just trying to help give you tools and resources. Tons of information, sorry.
Any questions on the medical plan?
Can I just throw out there too, for those of you that didn't notice, they talked about our premiums going down, which is awesome. And if you didn't know, the deductible, or if you didn't notice on there, the deductible went from $6,350 down to $6,000 as well. So that deductible did go down without premiums going up. So that's something cool that they were able to do for you there too.
I had actually 2 questions. First, you mentioned that first website.
Yep.
Is it just Blue Cross Blue Shield Minnesota, or
Yep, it's on every single, the website's literally on like every single page of the guide. It's on your ID card too. It's bluecrossmnonline.com.
Okay.
And
So
the app is
gets
Blue Cross MN.
Okay. Second question I had was, my husband is on Social Security now, but he needs, like the supplementary. Is there any kind of supplementary available to me for him, or?
Not, he would wanna work with an agent that sells Medicare locally to get the supplement.
Okay.
But there's tons of supplemental plans.
Anything else? Good questions? All right. For those of you who are standing in the doorway, there's plenty of seats inside here too, so feel free to come in and sit down.
I won't bite. Or,
So I'd like to talk about the health savings account. Can I just ask by show of hands, how many people are enrolled in the health savings account? Okay, looks like quite a few, that's awesome. Did you know that your employer is providing a match to your HSA account? So as long as you're making a contribution to your HSA, Fairfield Services will also contribute to your health savings account as well. Now, a health savings account works in conjunction with a high deductible health plan. So in order to be eligible for the health savings account, you'll enroll in one of the high deductible health plans, the $4,350 or the $6,000 plan. The HSA provides triple tax savings. First of all, contributions are tax-free, so they come out of your paycheck pre-tax. Second is any interest that grows on that account is tax-free as well. And then as long as you use a withdrawal for qualified expenses for medical dental, and vision expenses for you and your family members, you're not taxed there either. So this is the only investment that offers triple tax savings. One way to think about it is it saves you about 25% of what you would have paid Uncle Sam. So if you take a $100 bill, if you think of a $100 bill, it only costs you $75 to receive $100 worth of services. So instead of paying the income taxes to Uncle Sam, pay yourself. Put money in your own pocket for the health savings account. The money rolls over for your health savings account from year to year to year. Okay, so this is a great investment option that's available to you. If you were to leave Prairie Field Services, you can take the health savings account with you. So any contributions that you have made to the account, as well as what Prairie Field Services has made to the account, you can take that account with you. It is portable. Now, who's eligible to contribute to a health savings account? So first of all, you must be enrolled by a qualified high deductible health plan. And you have two high deductible health plan options available to you. You cannot be dependent on a non-high deductible health plan, including a health flexible spending account. So if any of you are enrolled in your spouse's health plan, or if your spouse has access to a flexible spending account, that would prohibit you from making HSA contributions, okay? So you can make HSA contributions here, and then your spouse would just forego their flexible spending account. You cannot be enrolled in any part of Medicare. Okay, so if you're enrolled in any part of Medicare, that would prohibit you from HSA contributions. You can still be enrolled in the high deductible health plan, it's just making that contribution to the HSA. And lastly, you cannot be a dependent on another person's tax return. The contribution limits, the IRS determines each year the limit for the health savings account, and also changes it each year as well. So for 2020, the limit is $3,550 for single coverage and $7,100 for family coverage. Family coverage is 2 or more members on the plan, okay? Also, if you are age 55 or older, you can make an additional $1,000 contribution to your health savings account. So therefore, it will go up to $4,550 or $8,100. Okay. Now I do want to point out that when you're making contributions to your health savings account, the IRS maximum includes the employer and the employee contributions. So you will want to be aware of that you do not over contribute to your HSA with your contributions as well as the employer match. So another enhancement we were able to make, Prairie Field Services was able to make this year, is they were able to increase the match contribution to your health savings account. So, and the increase is $10 per month. So for those of you on the $4,500 deductible plan, you can see the rates here. So employee coverage is a $30 match, as long as you're making at least $30 contribution to your HSA. And you can see the grid, up to $75 for family coverage. On the 6350 plan, there's a little bit of the $6,000 plan, there's a little enhancement there. It's $35 for employee coverage, up to $95 for family coverage. Again, as long as you're making the contribution, the employer match will be made. And this is your money. You can use it for qualified expenses. You can use it for current expenses. You can use it for expenses into the future, into retirement. We will all have medical, dental, and vision needs at some point in our future. So this is a great opportunity to put money away. Eligible expenses would include any medical expenses, so deductible, out-of-pocket expenses, prescription expenses, if you had any MRIs or imaging, if you had any counseling services, for example, those are all eligible expenses under the medical. Dental, so if you had any fillings, crowns, extractions, if you had a crown, orthodontic expenses, that would be a great opportunity to use that for your dental expenses. Vision, so co-pays for your eye exams, so if you use that under the new VSP plan, or if you buy glasses or contacts, or if you wear both glasses and contacts. The non-covered expense, you could be reimbursed under your flex or your health savings account plan. You can also use it for your dependent expenses, for your children and your spouse. as well as qualified premiums for Medicare, long-term care insurance, as well as COBRA premiums. So this is really where it's a great option to put money away and use it in the future. Expenses that are not eligible would be over-the-counter medications, cosmetic, as well as general health items. You can view the list of expenses at the website, irs.gov. You can take money from your HSA at any account. I do recommend that you keep good receipts for any distributions. In the event of an audit, you would be required to produce evidence that it was an eligible expense. So always keep receipts for any distributions on your HSA. In the event you wanted to use it for a non-qualified expense, maybe you wanted to buy a nice big screen TV like this. This is awesome, right? You can do that. However, you're gonna have a 20% excise tax penalty, as well as additional taxes when you do your, when you file your income taxes. So although this would be a great opportunity to have a big screen like this, just think of the penalty, okay? As long as you use it for eligible expenses, you're not taxed. The HSA rolls over from year to year to year. You do not lose money. Next, I'd like to talk with Delta Dental. The Delta Dental is the same plan that you have today. There are no changes to your plan. Basically, this is one dental plan. You're looking at 3 different networks. The Delta PPO network is a more of a narrow network of dentists that you can see, and you would have may have some additional cost saving by seeing a dental PPO provider. A Delta Premier provider is a wider group of dentists, so more of an open access where you can choose any of the Delta Dental providers. And then there's also outer network providers as well. How the plan works is you have $2,000 of an annual benefit. So each person that's covered under the dental plan has access to $2,000 of covered services. I want to point out to you, this is a very generous benefit. Of the other clients that I manage, their benefit is ranging more of $1,000, maybe $1,250, but this $2,000 benefit is a very generous benefit, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. You can get your teeth cleaned twice a year at no cost. And then if you had any other services, then you would pay a percentage of that service. Orthodontia is covered for dependent children up to age 18. And that would be 50% to a lifetime maximum of $1,000. The dental rates, I have great news for you here too, that there hasn't been any changes to the dental rate. So employee dental is at 0 cost. And you can find the providers on their website, www.deltadentalmn.org. Any questions on the health savings account or the dental plan so far? Yes?
So, I've never got a card mailed to me, and I've requested for it to be sent like 3 times.
Is that for Delta Dental?
No, for health savings.
For the health savings account, okay.
I don't know what else to do. Like,
Sure.
they said it's on the way and I've never gotten it.
Okay, I'll take a note of that, and then we can make sure that we contact them to get the new card out too. Thank you so much. Yes?
It said in that health savings that you could, pay for like premiums for the Medicare for like my spouse.
Mhm.
Does he have to be on the insurance to do that, or?
He does not have to be on your medical plan in order to use the health savings account for the Medicare plans. And you can find more information by going to the irs.gov website. We can take a look at it after the session if you like. Any other questions so far? Great. I'd like to introduce a new vision plan, VSP. I'm at the back table and have quite a few handouts available to you if you are interested in more information on the plan. So there have been several enhancements to the vision plan. Number 1, changing the carrier. By changing the carrier, we've been able to expand the network. So with the previous plan, IMED, I believe there were just a few providers that were available here in Casper, Wyoming, as well as other locations across Wyoming too. So we did change to VSP, and by making that change, we've been able to enhance the provider listing. I do have a listing of providers back on my table, and I can show those to you if you're interested in looking at them. You can find providers by going to their website, www.vsp.com. As Jenny had mentioned, your eye exam is covered under the health plan at no cost. In the event that you waive the health plan, or in the event you ever needed an additional eye exam, you could use the vision, and it would be a $20 copay for in-network. Your frames, you would have a $150 allowance towards your frames, plus a discount above that too. Your lenses, you would pay a copay for that, as well as any progressive lenses. So that would be the no-line bifocal. You would pay a copay up to $135 for those progressive type of lenses. Contact lenses, the most common contact lens these days are disposable lenses. You would have a $150 allowance towards your contact lens, and then you would just pay the remaining balance. You can change your frames, your eyeglass lenses, as well as your contact lenses every year. However, you have a one lens benefit. So if you're a glasses and a contact lens wearer, it would be either the contacts or the eyeglass lenses, okay? I want to point out the flexible spend or health savings account. This would be a great opportunity for any out-of-pocket expenses. You could run that through your HSA. The vision rates are staying the same, even though we've been able to expand the providers. And if, for employee coverage, there's no cost to you. Any questions on vision? Okay. Group life insurance and AD&D. Wanted to let you know that your basic life insurance is covered at $50,000 of life and AD&D, which stands for accidental death and dismemberment. This is a plan that's paid for you by Prairie Field Services. There's no cost to you for it. In addition to basic life insurance, you also have the ability to purchase voluntary life insurance for yourself, your spouse, and your children. Okay? This is an employee provided benefit. So in the event you're interested in purchasing this coverage, this will be available to you. If you already have voluntary life coverage, you may increase your coverage by one increment. So what that means for an employee is by $10,000 of coverage. If you wanted to increase your amount above that, you're more than welcome to, but you would just have to complete a medical evidence of insurability form. It's a health questionnaire. You'll respond to a series of health questions. It will go to the underwriting department for consideration of approval of your coverage. For employee coverage, you can enroll in increments of $10,000 up to 5 times your earnings, up to $500,000. For spouse coverage, it's in increments of $5,000 up to $250,000. And dependent children, they would have options of $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 or $10,000. Okay. If you are not enrolled in voluntary life coverage now, then you would complete the evidence of insurability for any amount of coverage. Any questions on the life or the voluntary life? Okay. Short-term disability, so Prairie Field Services offers short-term disability as well as long-term disability plans too. The short-term disability is provided by Prairie Field at no cost to you. In the event you're medically unable to work for an extended period of time, you may be eligible for a short-term disability claim. The benefit would, you would receive 60% of your weekly earnings, up to $2,500 per week, and the benefit duration would be up to 12 weeks. The most common usage of the short-term disability plan would be like a surgery. If you had a surgery where you're medically unable to work, maybe you slip and fall on the ice and you break your arm or your wrist, and if you're medically unable to work, that could be a disability claim. As well as maternity claims would be covered under short-term disability as well. If you are scheduling a surgery or you have something coming up, please contact Human Resources. You can contact Kim so that way she can help you fill out appropriate paperwork. Long-term disability is also offered by MetLife. If you are unable to work for an extended period of time, perhaps you had a back surgery, or you had something more serious, or maybe you had an injury where you were in a car accident, or you had a concussion or something. If it was a disabling event where you were out for an extended period of time, you may qualify for long-term disability. The benefit would be 60% of your monthly earnings, up to a maximum of $10,000 per month. And this would cover you until the Social Security normal retirement age. Okay, so it could cover you up to, for an extended period of time. And I'd like to talk a little bit about voluntary benefits that are available with MetLife. Sure. Since you flew all the way from Denver, I thought you might like a chance to speak.
I can come up here and harass you guys.
Thanks so much.
You bet. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, this is guaranteed issue as long as you are actively at work. Okay, and basically you can cover yourself, your spouse, and your dependent children. And the employee must enroll in this coverage in order for you to cover the rest of your dependents, okay? The benefits are paid, let's see if I can get out of everybody's road here. Let's try this side. I'm standing in front of him. The benefits are paid on this high-level summary. So basically, if you have an accidental death of the employee, it's $50,000, common carriers $150,000. I don't wanna do that, there's a bunch of us flying home tomorrow. We don't wanna do that. Or catastrophic loss, it pays $50,000. And when somebody asked me earlier, how do they determine what the accident coverage is? Well, I worked for orthopedic surgeons for 25 years, so if you break a finger, it's gonna be in that $100 or $300. But if you break your femur, you're in that $6,000 range. So as soon as the doctor submits the claim that comes in from you, then it's sent to the company and they pay you directly. Keep in mind, this does not pay the hospital, it does not pay the doctor, it pays you directly. And that helps offset some living expenses that you might have because of your high deductible plans. Questions? You guys are too quiet. This is just a good scenario. Let's say you had an ambulance trip, an emergency room, physician follow-up, medical texting. All this together, we would have paid you $1,350, and you wouldn't have had to pay that out of your high deductible plans. We encourage people, especially if you're playing sports, or if you have children who are playing sports, this is a very inexpensive addition to your medical plan. Critical illness provides coverage for a specific illness. There isn't a single person in this entire room that doesn't have a friend or relative that hasn't had cancer, heart attack, or stroke. We don't want to think about it, but your employer basically brings these plans in to try again to give you a lump sum, and this comes at either $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000. So let's say you have a heart attack, and the minute that is into us, they'll cut you a check for $10,000. It comes directly to you to try and offset those living expenses or your high deductibles. God forbid that you would have a stroke the next year, because this pays out 3 times. So if you chose the $10,000 and you had a stroke the next year, they'll write you another check for $10,000. That's a really bad year. But the policy is there. We didn't used to think about this. We thought about all of our relatives who were old, who had heart attack, stroke, and cancer. But cancer's rampant right now. And it's not just all of us young people. Questions? And here's just kind of an example. We cover about 26 coverages, and the biggest one I think is that they've added Alzheimer's. My mother had Alzheimer's and was in a nursing home for 3 years. So that would have been a really nice benefit to offset what we spent. And some of these are paid at 50%. There is no reoccurrence, obviously, on kidney failure or organ transplants. But the rest of them do have a 50% or more. Questions? Keep in mind that if you do the critical illness, even though your health care pays for your preventative visits, you get a $100 check, and it's all you have to do is call the 800 number. They don't even check with your doctor. You tell them who you saw, what your preventative example was, and they'll send you a check. So it's a great incentive for you if you have this, And if you have it and you haven't claimed that, come see me. Because I know that I've had a couple recently that have had it and have never claimed it. On the accident plan, basically you have a $50 health screening. So if you cover the accident plan, don't forget to get the $50 there too. I'm back here at this back table if you have questions. Thank you for coming in.
I just want to share one more slide with you, is that we have an iBenefits app that's available to you. So on your phone, you can access the benefit information. It's on a plan level. So also, many of you have received the employee benefits guide, so that's available on the back table as well. And this is just a summary of all the benefit plans. So when you go to the iBenefits, it will be very similar information. It will be on a plan level. So it won't show you what you're specifically enrolled in, but it will show you all of the plans that are available to you on a company level. Okay. Next steps. So enrolling through ADP. So the deadline is December 9th. So we our Maryfield Services is asking that you complete the enrollment by December 9th. You'll go to the home screen and click on Open Enrollment to start your benefit entries. Just go ahead and follow the prompts. And since some of the benefits have changed, we're just asking everybody to log in. Okay.
So then, and then just specifically on that, so when you log into ADP for the first time, it will automatically pop up open enrollment. You can't miss it, you can't get away from it. So just click on that, you can go right to the summary page, and you can see what you have signed up right now, and then you can say, oh, that looks good, and I'm good to go. Or, no, I wanna make some tweaks to what I have, and then you click, it's really very well laid out on the top, benefits summary, and then it will take you through all the benefits that are listed on the left-hand side. We have 2 computers that are up and running right now. I'm happy to walk anyone through that. Kim can too, and we can go through that together if anyone wants to do that. 2 things of significant importance, and we've talked about this, but again, one, our vision provider has changed. So if you want to continue vision, you need to sign up through BSP for next year, because IMED stops December 31st. And then second, the health savings plan, even though you can roll it over and take it with you, it's an annual plan. So that stops December 31st. So if you want to enroll again, you'll need to sign up through ADP. And again, bump up your contribution a little bit because Prairie just bumped up their match, okay?
So,
Any questions?
sorry, yep, couple things that I wanted to add too. You cannot go to the ADP app. You actually have to go to the workforcenow.adp.com and do it. You can do it on your mobile phone, but don't go to the app. Go to the actual website to do it. Second, questions online about if somebody has a baby or gets married. You don't have to wait for open enrollment for those. Those are considered life-changing events that will qualify you to add those. So there's a few of them off the top of my head, birth, death, marriage, divorce, that kind of stuff. So there are things, so if you do need to make changes to your plan throughout the year, come in and see us. Don't just automatically assume that you can't, because there are certain qualifying things that you can. A lot of times you do have to wait for the first of the year for open enrollment, but sometimes you can do it at other life qualifying events too. So good question out there. Again, make sure to get in there. That was another question that we answered on what they have to do next, but go to ADP and do that next. So.
Can I interject just one thing? Please, 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 whatever you do, check your beneficiaries every year. I don't care what day of the year it is or what you do. Things do change even though you think they don't. So do yourself a favor. Don't get caught in that trap where that money's going to someone you didn't want it to go to.
And if you have it going to your children and they're under 18, set up a trust.
That's right.
Because they won't get it until they turn 18.
Or they have to have a guardian.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't there some law with beneficiaries for insurance that it has to go to your spouse?
Nope.
Unless.
Nope.
My insurance company told me that.
I think some of you.
Everybody can put it to me if you want to. So, it does not have to be your spouse at all. Nope.
No. How about for the 401k, Sam?
Yeah,
All right, you ready for that?
yes.
Give me 2 seconds to see if I
Everyone's-
know how to switch this over.
For example, with life insurance, the beneficiaries.
What's that?
Beneficiary plan.
No.
Partners got their own policy out on
Yeah.
them, they do the policy out on them, so that really covers one of my slides.
All right, y'all, we're just gonna chat about the 401k briefly here. It should only take 10 minutes or so. Speaking for while this is getting going, speaking for myself, and I'm sure the rest of us benefit providers, I don't know if we've come across more of a robust benefit offering than what you guys are being offered right now. So it's pretty awesome, and I would encourage you to chat with each of us afterwards, because it might be a little bit overwhelming to figure out which benefits to get, and obviously, you know, saying, hey, how much do we contribute to the HSA along with the 401k to maximize what the offering is from Prairie. So we're going to be here for the next couple hours, and that's the purpose of today, is to make sure you guys understand what the offering is and how to maximize it for yourself, because it's going to be different for everybody. So, but it's pretty impressive. You guys could basically be about covered for just about everything. So it's a pretty nice offering. So 401k, I had the opportunity to chat with a lot of you in July when the plan was moving over from the ADP. There are many, many pros of why we moved from ADP. I would say the one con is that we are not integrated with ADP any longer. And so we do have to go in and enroll outside of ADP, but the enrollment process takes about 2 minutes. And I think you'll find that the technology is very refreshing from what we had with ADP. There's many tools there for your retirement picture. You can go in and see how you're tracking for retirement. You can see what your monthly expense will be like in retirement. So it's a pretty handy plan. So I just want to walk you through a couple features of it and a couple of things you should be thinking about with regards to your 401k plan. Eligibility, basically 3 months of service. You got to be age 21, and basically the big thing here is that it's 100% immediately vesting. I'm sure if some of you had other employers where you got to be there for 3 years or 7 years before you can take that match with you. If your Prairie is going to make a match for you and you end up leaving the company in 3 months, those dollars are yours. So that's pretty nice. Those dollars go immediately to you. So, and again, you can do all of your management of your contribution rate and your investments with through the Securian website. So the contributions, basically, they just bumped this up this year up to $19,500, and plus you can do additional catch-up contribution of $6,500 if you're age 50 or older.
Does that include the employer contribution?
No, that's just your contribution. So yeah, depending on what your percentage is, Prairie will match that. If you do 19,000, they're only going to match 4% of your contribution. So sorry, not of your contribution, of your income. So 4% is the max match that they're going to do. There is an option to do pre-tax or Roth. I'd be happy to chat offline with you guys about that. Essentially, pre-tax means that we're not paying any tax on those dollars up front, and you're going to get a lot more growth of those dollars in the plan. Roth, if you're younger and you think that your tax bracket may change in the future, meaning it's going to go higher, we could do a situation where we're doing a hybrid of the two, where you're paying some after-tax dollars into the plan right now, which again is essentially a way of paying taxes now and locking in our tax bracket. So general rule of thumb is the younger we are, the more we want to potentially do into the Roth. If you're, say, call it 50 or older, probably just want to go all pre-tax into the plan. But again, happy to talk with you offline about that. Just to go on back again to the contributions from Prairie, they will match 100% of the first 3%. So even if you do 1%, they're going to match 1%. If you do 2, they'll match 2. If you do 3, they'll match 3. And then 50% of the next 2%. So if you do 4%, they're going to do 3.5. If you do 5, they're going to do 4%. So bottom line, get enrolled and start putting in 5%. It's going to maybe be a little painful for the first month or two, but then I promise you, you're not going to notice it after that, and you're going to be getting free money from Prairie. So I ran a couple examples that we can chat about this earlier, but if you're making $80,000 here and you put in the 3%, that's a match of $2,400 from Prairie that they're just going to put into the plan for you. If you do the 5%, they're going to put in $3,200 a year for you inside the plan. That's pretty darn generous. So again, just can't encourage you enough to just get in and just start doing the savings and start contributing to the plan. One thing this doesn't account for it either is market growth as well. And we're having a great market run here with the stock market. And so if the market grows at an average of 6 to 7% a year, that's some really nice growth on top of that as well. And the eighth wonder of the world is called compound interest. So if we can get in, get our money start compounding for us, and along with some market growth, it's going to be pretty impressive for y'all in retirement. So this is just talking again about pre-tax or post-tax. Again, if you got questions on that, come see me. So how much do you save? This is, again, it's something I can help with just in terms of quantifying how much we save. Ideally, we want to save 10 to 15% of our incomes in general. And that's going to be spread over a couple different vehicles. But minimum and the best place to start is right here. So a minimum, we want to try to do 3% because that gets us that 3% match. And then there's a nice feature here on the Securian website where you can automatically increase your 401k savings by 1% a year. If you guys are anything like me, you need to trick yourselves into savings a little bit. It's not human nature to save. And so what this allows us to do is just every January 1, it's gonna bump it up 1%, and we're not even gonna really notice it out of your paycheck. And after 3 to 4 years, you've bumped up your savings, call it 4, 5, 6%, and off you go. So again, it's just a great way to trick ourselves into saving. This just again talks about the power of 1%. If this is just the level saver, if we didn't do any sort of step up savings as we go, this is the, hey, we did 1% a year, we've got about $500,000 more at retirement. So it just shows you the power of 1%. Why are we saving? So there's a lot of elements at work here, but we're gonna get a nice chunk from Social Security, hopefully. We'll try to be a little conservative on that side of that, but 60% of our lifestyle is gonna be provided through how we're gonna save for retirement. So you younger people in the room, I just can't encourage you enough to just start saving. If you're older and you feel like you're behind, it's never too late to start saving. So get going on the plan, start getting money working for you, because again, Social Security is gonna cover a portion of it, but we're gonna be responsible for a lot of it. So again, these are just more kind of savings concepts, but it just shows you the importance of saving early. So this is an interesting one here. This just talks about, again, if we're younger and we're wondering whether we should start saving into this plan or not, you essentially have Mary and Bill here. The best way to visualize this is if we're standing at the top of a snowy hill and say Mary's way up on top of the hill compared to Bill. Mary's going to start rolling that snowball down the hill, and by the time it gets to Bill, Mary's ball is going to be quite a lot larger than Bill's ball. So bottom line is Mary contributes from age 25 to 30 and stops. Bill starts here at 35 and goes all the way to 65, and Mary's still got more money. This is just compound interest and money growing over time. So bottom line is start saving young. If you're in the 35 to 40 to 50 range, still start saving, because you can take advantage of even 10 years of compounding interest is pretty powerful. Determining your investment approach, essentially there's 2 ways to go about this. One, if you're somebody that is paying attention to what the stock market's doing and you've got some strong opinions on how you want your dollars to be invested, there is a custom portfolio that you can create on Securian. The other option, which I prefer, is basically hitting the easy button and doing a target date fund. And what the target date fund is gonna do is gonna take your retirement age of, call it, say 65, and it's essentially gonna scale the risk down of your portfolio closer as you get down towards retirement. So if you're age 25 and you've got 40 years to go till retirement, it's gonna have quite a big risk tolerance knowing that you've got 40 years to build that up, but we also wanna take some more risk because we do have such a long time to go. If you're 55 and we're only 10 years away from retirement, we're gonna wanna have a little more conservative tilt to our portfolio, knowing if a 2008 type scenario comes across again, we're not gonna lose 40% of our retirement savings. Maybe you'll only lose 10 to 15% of that retirement savings, but you're also giving a little bit on the upside as well. So again, if you got some questions on that, I'm certainly happy to help, but my recommendation is the target date funds are a great way to go because it's hitting the easy button, you don't have to worry about it. The portfolio is automatically rebalancing as you are getting closer to retirement. So biggest thing, take action. Go to securian.com/retirement, and I walked a couple employees through this earlier today. I'm also available to help anyone over the next couple hours to get enrolled, but it's really darn easy, and essentially can help you walk through it, but getting enrolled and putting that contribution rate at 3% minimum or 5% is going to be huge to getting you on your way towards retirement. So this just kind of walks us through the page on the enrollment site. But a couple other areas that I'm available for you all as a resource is on the personal planning side. So as you guys are thinking about how much to do in your HSA or how much to do in your 401k, or hey, I've got a rollover from a different company, should I roll that into this plan or should I put it into an individual IRA? Those are the things that I'm here to help you with as well, and I'm going to be available today, or else give me a call you guys have my information, but I just wanted to put together kind of a sample plan as well. So again, if you're a 35-year-old driver or employee of Prairie, you're making $80,000, a couple things to be thinking about just in terms of the saving strategy is one, short-term savings. Try to have at least 1 month, maybe 2 to 3 months worth of emergency savings there for you. So again, we want to be saving in the 401k plan, but we also want to have some emergency funds set aside for us. The retirement plan is great. The only downside with the retirement plan is these dollars aren't readily available to us. Technically, we can't pull these dollars out until age 59 and a half without a major tax penalty. So there is a loan provision here. We try to want not to access that as much as possible. So again, if we can have some emergency savings, that's great. So again, just on the retirement planning, just taking advantage of the match is huge. And then as we were chatting about too, the one area I help a lot with, especially for you all that have families, is on the defensive side of the planning, right? We can work as hard as we want and we can build up this lifestyle for our families, but if we don't protect it and we don't build a foundation around it, then it's really not worth much. And so as you're thinking about, hey, how much life insurance do I need? Should I do that through the company? Should I take it outside of the company? Those are the things that we can help with. And then also on the disability side of things, the 60%, the fact that you guys get short-term and long-term disability is huge. If you can, supplement that long-term disability to make sure that your disability coverage is closer to 100% of your income versus 60%, that's a really smart thing to do as well. 60%, by the way, is the max offering that Prairie can give you. So one big thing we always talk about with clients is making sure that our income is covered to 100% versus just the 60% that you get through work. So again, here for a resource for all of you. We're here for the next couple hours, and if you got any questions on anything, whatever it is, just please let us know, and happy to help. So any questions on the 401k piece? All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
There's something we're supposed to sign saying that we were because I'm assuming this is the meeting.
No, Laura's the meeting too. So, yeah. So this is just benefit stuff, they're in the same